This special presentation was produced in high definition by WEDU, Tampa, St. Petersburg, Sarasota.
Smart Health is produced as part of HealthyState.org, a partnership media project made up of these contributing Florida public media stations, and made possible with funding from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
A beauty queen fighting against time to find a cure for a rare eye disease that causes blindness. Hello, I'm Angie Moreschi. Thanks for joining us for Smart Health. We're here to share health and medical news you might not find from other sources. Segments on new medical research in Florida, the latest on treatments for diseases or chronic conditions, and stories on simply being well and staying that. Next, a remarkable woman. She's smart, she's beautiful, and she's a mother on a mission. This year's Mrs. America is from Tampa, Florida, and she's using her crown and sash to help find a cure for blindness. It's a battle against time for her family, which is affected by a hereditary eye disease called Retinitis Pigmentosa.
All right, come on out.
This might not be what you'd expect for a typical day in the life of a beauty queen, but April Lufriu is anything but typical. Working hands-on in the warehouse of her family's marble company,
Mrs. Florida!
Winning Mrs. America at age 41, the second oldest ever in pageant history, or most of all,
Is that good? Okay. Okay. You're smart. You can do it.
as a mom taking on a challenge few parents ever face with their children.
When we found out my kids were diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa, it was February 1st, 2010, a date I'll never forget.
April's 11-year-old son Brandon was showing signs she knew were an indication of retinitis pigmentosa. Her sister Melissa had been diagnosed more than 20 years ago, and April has watched her struggle as she slowly loses her vision.
She was 21 when they told her she had RP, and at the age of 25, she had to stop driving at night.
Now, April was seeing the same early signs of night blindness developing in her son.
Males are typically more affected. They show signs earlier than the females. And some of the early signs, he was outside playing in the dark and he ran into the AC unit.
She knew it was time. They went to get tested for the RP gene. Brandon, his 9-year-old sister Savannah, and April too. The doctor told her first.
I didn't know what to say. I just cried. Yeah, I cried. Sorry.
Since retinitis pigmentosa is often hereditary, April knew if she had it, she was a carrier who could pass it on to her children.
I just kept praying to get a no, that they're fine, and I didn't get that. And it's hard. It brings me to my knees.
I can't imagine. It's a fear.
Yeah. It's tough.
This picture shows how a person with normal vision would see the image. This is what a person with RP sees. Retinitis pigmentosa affects the peripheral vision first. It's often called tunnel vision because over time the visual field closes in and can lead to total darkness. I know from a very personal connection. My father had RP and eventually went totally blind. Dr. Ivan Sunier is an ophthalmologist at Retinal Associates of Florida. They specialize in diagnosing RP, which affects about 1 in 4,000 people in the United States.
When we examine a patient with this condition, the retina is typically involved and we see changes. Instead of having a normal orange color, we see sort of black spots and speckles on it, and over time they may progress and get worse and worse and degenerate.
Dr. Sunier explains RP is the opposite of macular degeneration, which affects the macula or center of the eye.
And that's why they get the tunnel vision, because it affects the outer part of the retina and not the very middle.
Right now, there is no cure for RP, but there are some promising clinical trials, including one Dr. Sunier will soon be involved with in Tampa.
It's one where we implant a little pellet inside the eye, And in the little package or the pellet, there's live cells that make a protein or a molecule that basically preserves a retinal function and prevents it from becoming damaged over time.
We have a disease that affects our family, and that's the whole purpose I'm here, to raise awareness for retinitis pigmentosa.
April is now on a mission to prevent that more severe outcome for her kids. That's why she decided to compete for Mrs. America.
It was never about the glitz and glamour and the shiny gowns and the false eyelashes for me. It was for me to open my mouth and tell my story and gain this, and I did. This is my passion.
April and her sister founded the Foundation Fighting Blindness Tampa Bay chapter 4 years ago. This year, as Mrs. America, she's chair for the annual Vision Walk to raise awareness and money for research. A clinical trial can cost up to $30 million. That's why April says the annual Foundation Fighting Blindness Vision Walk is such an important fundraising event for them.